So it's no secret that the world of online education has expanded over the years. ESL, one-on-one tutoring, even opportunities to make your own courses while setting your own schedule and price. But what new opportunities are there for new and existing teachers in 2023? Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This, if you cannot tell, is one of my favorite videos to make. It's kind of like yearly market research where we sit down, explore, and discuss new opportunities in the online teaching space. I've done some research myself and cannot believe I have found 25 different opportunities for online teachers. For those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Kristen. I'm a former classroom teacher turned online educator. On this channel, we talk all things work from home, online teaching, and passive income. So if those things interest you, make sure to click that little red subscription button down below and the bell to be updated each and every time we post a new video. And if you like these kinds of videos, let me know by giving this one a huge thumbs up. I also have everything I use in my online classroom listed down below in the description box. I know I get messages about that all the time. If I'm using it, it is linked down below. And one last thing, if anybody teaches on any of these platforms, let me know down below in the comments your experience, what you think of it. I would love to hear from you. But without any further ado, let's get started. All right, I have moved you guys over here to my computer screen. Today's gonna be a little bit more laid back. I will share my screen with you in just a second so you can see exactly what I'm seeing here in my market research. Side note, I did do a video similar to this a few years ago. I will link it up above in the cards. I will note some of those opportunities may not be available anymore, but let's go ahead and get started. We will share the screen. First up, we have Preply, and it says Preply is another online marketplace similar to italki. With Preply, you are specifically offering tutoring services to potential clients. You'll create an account and customize your profile, and then you set your rate. So this is a little bit different than other companies. Some do let you set your rate, some do not. If you want a higher rate, you'll need to prove that you can outperform the competition. One of the major advantages to this platform is the diverse range of students. There are students of all ages, students and children alike. They can come from various cultural backgrounds around the world and are not just from one country, which can be nice for teachers looking for a little bit more variety during their classroom hours. If you have a specific area of expertise, you can fill out your profile to appeal to these students. And it says teacher requirements. Certification, preferred but not required. Hourly rate, $10 to $45 an hour. Class times, now it does not say time zone, so I'm going to assume if it's your time zone, it works. 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. with a minimum of 8 hours per week. Up next is a company called Verbling. Verbling is an incredibly competitive platform. Ooh, but if you do pass the hiring process, they have one of the top rates of pay in the industry. Throughout the application process, you'll have to show that you're skilled at teaching and that you have the expertise in the English language. So this is not tutoring, this is ESL. The company prefers North American teachers with neutral accents. Once you get approved, you can set a rate anywhere from $18 to $28. A majority of students are adults learning business English for their jobs. Other popular classes involve reading comprehension and travel English. The better your student reviews, the more potential students and income you'll attract. Teacher requirements, 2 years of experience, certification preferred, $18 to $28 an hour, 6 a.m. to 3 a.m., and minimum hours per week, 5. So an incredibly competitive platform. If anyone works for this one, let me know. Did you pass the hiring process? And how did it go? The third platform is one we've done an entire dedicated video to, and it is Tutored by Teachers. This platform you can check out up above in the cards, but long story short, it is a tutoring platform, and once you apply, the company assesses your skills and availability, and it matches you to either schools or specific students, and then from there, you'll be able to set a solid schedule and a pay rate. Once again, check out our full video up above in the cards, but let's move on to platform number 4. If you've been on my channel for more than 5 minutes, then platform number 4 is no surprise, and it is VIP Kid Global. Now, there have been changes from the days that I made many videos about this platform, but currently it says VIP Kid Global is a top pick overall. This company has excellent reviews from current and former employees. I have to agree, boasting 4.1 stars on Glassdoor. While the hiring process may seem involved, this article breaks it down into manageable steps. Now, I will not go into those steps here in this video. You'll be able to access links to all of these platforms down below in the description box. And then it says, unlike the original Chinese VIP Kid, which focused mostly on Chinese students between the ages of 4 and 12, VIP Kid Global is after an international student base, which I can confirm that is true. They seem to have a foothold in South Korea and Saudi Arabia, but they are yet to be able to fully replace the amount of bookings from Chinese students. Teaching students is one-on-one, and students are between the ages of 4 and 15. At the moment, VIP Kid Global is only hiring teachers from the United States, excluding California, New York, and Washington, or Canada. It now states its student requirements as having a bachelor's degree, 2 years of experience working with children, and a TEFL certification. Again, more on VIP Kid requirements. Hourly rate, $14 an hour. Class times are varied, and there are no minimum hours to work per week. We'll speed up a little bit, move over to the next one, which is italki. Italki is slightly different from many others in the industry. Instead of being its own program with a learning curriculum, it functions as a freelance marketplace. With most of the other companies and schools on the list, you will need to meet certain requirements and go through a hiring process. With italki, you simply create a profile and connect with clients. You can use italki regardless of your qualifications, but most people with certificates, college degrees, and experience are in higher demand. The higher quality your lessons, the more you can charge per hour. It's easiest to use italki if you can serve a certain niche of students, like test prep or business English, so you'll stand out from your competitors. Certification preferred but not required. Hourly rate can be $3 to $35 per hour. Class time, 6 a.m. to 3 a.m. with no weekly minimums. I have seen some people work in italki. I have not myself. Up next, we have 51 Talk. The majority of teachers from 51 Talk are from the Philippines, but there is potential interest in native speakers from the US and other regions. The biggest requirement that the company has is a neutral accent. Because the number of students, 51 Talk is often looking for teachers to take on workloads. So if you are looking for full-time hours, this could be something you can consider. Employees report that the students tend to have a positive attitude and good discipline, though they note there might be some struggle with their work. Teacher requirements, bachelor's degree and experience teaching children. Hourly rate, $12 to $22 an hour. Class times, 7 a.m. to 11 a.m., Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 a.m. on the weekends, with minimum hours per week, 35. So it sounds to me like that would be a full-time option. For those of you looking for opportunities without a degree, we present Cambly. With Cambly, students are supposed to be able to connect to a teacher anytime. The service is available all day, though there are certain peak hours with more traffic. You'll likely have a large range of different students instead of having one single class. There are very few requirements involved. Though you need to be a native English speaker, you don't need a certificate or a college degree. Because of the few requirements, the pay is also slightly lower than some companies, coming in at $10 an hour. Employees who teach children make $12 per hour instead. Again, they said requirements, certification preferred, but not required. Lower hourly rate, $10 to $12. Class time, 6 a.m. to 3 a.m. with no minimum hours. I do remember during the VIP Kid era, a lot of people were checking out Cambly for times that they weren't booking with their VIP Kid students. Up next on our list is Palfish. Unlike most other options, Palfish isn't built for your computer. Instead, this app is meant to be downloaded onto iOS or Android systems. There are 2 jobs available: a regular teaching position or an official teaching position. Official teachers get more consistent scheduling. So if you're someone that wants to just come into Palfish every once in a while, you just get a regular, but if you want more of a solid schedule, the official. Each lesson is about 25 minutes, similar to VIP Kids time structure, with 5 minutes to prepare between slots. If you consistently arrive on time and don't cancel lessons, you will be eligible for bonuses. This is a great way to make teachers feel appreciated and for taking on responsibility in their professional work. The hourly rate can vary depending on your qualifications and whether you're an official teacher. Requirements: teaching certification, hourly rates $10 to $30 an hour, class time 6 a.m. to 3 a.m., and minimum hours per week, 4 hours per week. Up next is Latin Hire. Latin Hire is another unique business model. They aren't a marketplace or a school, but instead function as an agency. Okay, this is different. Their goal is to connect tutors to schools in need. If your area of expertise matches a student's need, Latin Hire can put you in touch. This company acts like a liaison with multiple subjects, not just English. If you have skills in calculus, chemistry, physics, statistics, algebra, geometry, it goes on, then you can seek these roles as well. Because the schools are so varied, the pay rates also vary, but most of the time, the hourly rate is relatively low. There might be opportunities to negotiate during the process. So if you're working with a school or something and that is able to be negotiated, that could happen. Fortunately, the sign-up process is straightforward and streamlined, which helps you save time and energy. While you don't technically need a certification, we always say it's a good idea to get your TEFL to be ready for the classroom. Again, teacher requirements: certification preferred, but not required. Hourly rate, $8 to $10. Class times, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. with no minimum hours. We're gonna take a very quick pause from sharing the screen and mention 2 platforms that let you create self-made classes where you can set the schedule, the price, and the number of students you will take in those classes. The first one, of course, is OutSchool. Again, if you've been on this channel, you know I teach on there 99% of the time right now. I am a full-time OutSchool teacher. I have an entire playlist of how I got hired, making my first classes, my first year review, going full-time. I'll put that whole playlist up above. But what makes this different than the other platforms we've talked about? You get to make your own class, and you could do one-on-one. One-on-one is an option. You can also do classes where you can have 1 to 8 to 10 students take the class at the same time. Again, you can choose the subject, the duration, is it going to be a 30-minute class or an hour class, and the set price. There is also no minimum requirement to teach on OutSchool. And similar to OutSchool, there is AllSchool. This platform, best to my knowledge, does work very similar to OutSchool, where you can create your own classes, set your price, and your schedule. I'm going to link a channel that talks all about AllSchool. It is Teach Online with Kelsey. I'll put her up above in the cards. She goes into detail on how to get hired, the structures and changes on that platform. If you've tried OutSchool and you haven't had as much luck as you've wanted, why not try taking those courses, which are yours, and trying them out on AllSchool? Now that we've covered those, let's get back to the share screen. For those of you who want to teach English to adults, maybe working with kids is not your thing and you want to teach adults, well, we have LearnLite. LearnLite is more specialized than many other platforms on this list. The company exists to help European individuals learn how to use business English. You ought to have prior experience with teaching, especially teaching business English. It's also important to have a TEFL certification. Because you're required to be available at specific times, you'll need to adhere to a stricter schedule than some of the other options on this list. New hires commit to a year of teaching at least. So, if you get hired, you're basically saying I'll be there for a year. Individual student sessions have low rates of pay, but group classrooms tend to pay more. Well, of course. This option has a high level of stability, which makes up for its lack of flexibility. Again, they require a TEFL, 2 years of experience, hourly rate between $12 and $14 an hour, class time 6 a.m. to 9 p.m., and minimum hours per week, 10. After that, we have Open English. South American students turn to Open English so frequently that it's become the biggest ESL provider on the continent. The company has a strong demand for teachers who can keep up with the influx of students. If you want full employment, Open English gives reliable teachers a packed schedule. So again, if you want to work full-time, check out Open English. Rather than paying people based on their qualifications, the company offers pay raises with time. The more experience you gain, the higher your rate of pay. You can get a job without any college degree, though you will need a certification. Teachers are required to spend at least 25 hours a week on their site. Again, requirements, certification, 1 year experience. So let's say you had experience on another website and it's not working well for you and you want full-time hours, this could be a good option. Hourly rate, $13 to $15, but they did say as time goes on, you should be able to get a raise or an increased hourly rate. Class time, 6 a.m. to 3 a.m. with minimum hours per week, 25. Moving along, we have Verbal Planet. Verbal Planet connects language teachers from all over the globe with students who want to learn. Since getting started in 2006, they've been around for a while, but I have never heard of them. Since getting started in 2006, they have expanded to offering multiple other languages. When you use the site, you can create a profile and set a rate of pay. Okay, so you get to set your hourly rate. Most people charge about $22 per hour on average. People tend to attract more students if they have strong qualifications and prior experience. Inexperienced teachers may need to start at a lower rate and then work up. The highest rates are set by people who teach business English or help international students prepare for standardized ESL testing. Teacher requirements, TEFL, preferred but not required. Hourly rate, $12 to $26 per hour. Class times 6 a.m. to 3 a.m. with no minimum hours. For anyone interested in teaching English to Japanese students, we present Lingo. Lingo has been around for a decade. Having first started in 2012, this Japanese company has a goal of connecting Japanese nationals with ESL tutors. Students can range in age from very young to very old. There are very few requirements, making this an ideal fit for people without a lot of experience. In fact, you don't need a college degree or a certification. You can use this company to gain experience before applying to places with a higher rate of pay. So if you're just getting started, you know you want to teach online, this could be a great place to gain that experience to open doors to other platforms that we've talked about. It is required that you come from an English-speaking country and are a native speaker of the language. All lessons are pre-made, so if you don't want to make your own lessons, it's the place to be. All lessons are pre-made, so there's no need to create your own lesson plans. Requirements: be a native English speaker. Hourly rate, $10 to $12 an hour. Class times, 5 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. Minimum hours a week, 6. Moving right along, we have OneCoin English. OneCoin English is another company with shockingly few strict requirements. Every applicant must be legally allowed to work in Japan, so you might need to obtain a work visa or other paperwork. Other than that, the only requirement is that you're at least 20 years old. You don't need a college degree or a language certification. Again, they said teacher requirements must be available to work in Japan and be 20 years old. Hourly rate, $7.50 to $10.30 per hour. Class times, 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. and minimum hours per week, 15. And side note, because they do say that you need to have a work visa, it states the company provides lessons in 50-minute intervals. Each lesson is conducted using Zoom. You will need a Japanese bank account in order to receive payments. And again, we'll have all that information for all of these platforms listed down below. Moving right along, we have Best Teacher. Best Teacher helps teachers connect to their students via Skype, but there's a major difference between this and most other options. These lessons aren't meant to help students improve their verbal English. Instead, the goal is to work on written materials. You'll show your students how to edit conversations and reply to messages. Because everything is written down, there is a solid opportunity for non-native speakers as well as native speakers with a strong accent. If you have any reason that you don't want to speak, you'll appreciate the lesson setup. Again, you need a TEFL, hourly rate $5 to $6 per hour, 6 p.m. to midnight class times with no minimum hours. I have never heard of Best Teacher. Up next in market research, we have Cena English, another one I've never heard of. Cena English specifically looks for teachers from the US who have neutral American accents. Teachers connect to their students using Skype's video and audio calling. In order to qualify, you need to have prior teaching experience, a certification, and a college degree. The rate of pay is $22 per hour to reflect this. So if you want something that's above the 5 or 6, the 10 to 12, the $15 an hour, Cena, $22 an hour. When you get started, you'll first do a trial lesson. Kind of sounds like a mock lesson. With your students to see if you click. Assuming the student likes your style, you'll then do regular lessons. You and your student will create a lesson schedule, and you must adhere to those times. If you need to change the date of a lesson, it's your responsibility to inform your student. Again, requirements, bachelor's degree, 2 years experience, and a certification. $22 an hour. That's pretty good. If I were looking for something similar to this might be a platform I would check into. Class times 9 a.m. to midnight. Up next is a company I absolutely just looked up how to pronounce, and that is Egox. This company looks for teachers from all over the English-speaking world, including North America, Australia, New Zealand, and the UK. They even have some English teachers from the Philippines. While the rate of pay is somewhat low, the platform has tons of teaching resources. Most students also provide their own materials. You can use flexibility in your lessons thanks to the lack of strict curriculum. If you receive positive reviews, you could also earn bonuses and pay raises. Teachers should have at least 10 hours a week to devote to teaching. Payments are done through PayPal for extra convenience. You do have to have a TEFL, $3 to $11 per hour, 9 a.m. to 3 a.m. class times, and minimum hours per week is 10. Again, that is Egox. Had to look that one up. This next one is probably not going to be a surprise to many people, and that is QKids. QKids looks for US and Canadian teachers with a college degree. College students can bypass the degree requirement by proving that they're working toward a degree. So if you're a student wanting a side hustle, this one might be for you. Every teacher will work with anywhere from 1 to 4 students per lesson. The lessons are taught during the peak classroom times in Beijing. The youngest student age is 5 and the oldest is 12. All of the classes are 30 minutes in length. Fortunately, the company connects teachers with pre-made lesson plans and teaching materials. The platform itself is bursting with color, joy, and visual delight. Did I just do a commercial? Aiming to make learning fun for kids. Bachelor's degree, certification. $16 to $20 an hour. Again, if I were an undergrad and I was getting my degree, this would be great. Teaching times 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Monday through Friday, 10:30 p.m. to 10 a.m. on weekends. I've heard QKids. I've never worked with them. If someone here is seeing this video, let me know. Minimum hours are now 6 hours per week. Getting through 28 in one video is a lot. Up next, we have EF Education First. EF Education First allows teachers to connect with students from all over the globe 7 days a week. Students range from children to adults. Teachers can pick whether they teach group classrooms or have one-on-one sessions. So let's say you want to have that option. This could be a good place. Regardless of what you choose, your online classroom will be packed with resources. So if you want to teach group classes, but not make the materials, here you go. You'll be given teaching tools and lesson plans to get started. There's no need to make your own curriculum. If you set a schedule in advance, you'll be told how much money you'll make that month. Group classrooms tend to have a higher rate of pay than individual tutoring sessions. Requirements: bachelor's degree, teaching experience, TEFL certification, $10 to $20 an hour, class times 4 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. on the weekends. Minimum hours per week is 5. Because this video is getting a little bit long, we're gonna do a little lightning round. I'll read the platform and then their requirements. If you are interested, we'll put all the information down below. Up next, we have Schooly. Schooly is one of the most solid ESL companies for Chinese students. Teacher requirements: bachelor's degree, certification preferred, $25 an hour flat pay rate. Class times 24/7 with no minimum hours per week. Next in our speed round, we have Wales English. Wales English has over 70,000 students signed up for online classes. They want native English speakers from the US, UK, and Canada. Teacher requirements, bachelor's degree, 1 year of experience, certification. Hourly rate, brace yourselves, $18 to $30 an hour. Class times, 6:55 a.m. to 9 a.m. Monday through Thursday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Fridays and weekends. Minimum hours per week is 8. Then we have Schematalk. Schematalk is a company that has very few requirements to get started. You'll be teaching business English to adults. Requirements, certification preferred but not required. Hourly rate, $10 to $16 an hour. Class time, 6 a.m. to 3 a.m. with minimum hours per week, 15. If you are looking to teach English to Korean students online, we present NIL English. NIL English hires U.S. teachers to help people in South Korea learn English. Requirements, bachelor's degree, certificate, and teaching experience. Hourly rate, $9 to $15 an hour. Class times, 24/7. Minimum hours per week, 4. Do want to read off one thing though. When you use the platform, you get paid for every 10 minutes spent teaching. Consistent attendance will lead to a 10% bonus. If you continue to work for 3 months, you'll get a pay raise. To top it off, there's another pay raise in 6 months. That's awesome. Up next in our lightning round, we have Tutoring Go. Tutoring Go is another company that aims to provide constant availability to students. Whenever they want to learn, they can connect to a tutor. You have flexible hours that you can fill at your leisure, although people generate the most income by using peak hours. Requirements, certification, hourly rate, $10 to $14, class times, 24/7, no minimum hours per week. Moving on, we have Cafe Talk. Oh, I've never heard of this one. Cafe Talk is integrated with free video and telephone services provided by Skype. The company hires tutors for different languages. Each student receives one-on-one lessons. Requirements, bachelor's degree, hourly rate, $8 to $25. Class times, 9 a.m. to 12 a.m. Minimum hours, 2 hours per week. You're good to go. Then we have Skybell. Skybell has one purpose and one purpose only: to help students pass the International English Language Test. Requirements here, bachelor's degree, 1 year of teaching experience, preference to British accents. So to all my British followers, do I have any British followers? If you have a British accent, then it seems you are very good to go. Just kidding. Hourly rate, $15 to $20 an hour. Class times, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Minimum hours, 10 hours per week. That brings our next stop to Wrinkle. Wrinkle allows you to flexibly work from home with whatever hours you want. There's very little strict commitment. At the same time, you'll be able to grow networks of students and tutors. The company provides pre-made lesson plans called Wrinkle Packets, which let you teach classes without doing any prior planning. Requirements, bachelor's degree, hourly rate, $15 to $16, class times, flexible, no minimum hours. Whew, that was a lot, but you guys, those were 28 platforms for teaching online, 28 different opportunities, whether you want to make your own curriculum, whether you want to teach without a degree, if you want to teach a certain kind of subject matter, those are 28 different opportunities for you. Once again, if you like this video, give it a huge thumbs up. I will have the information linked down below. If you want more videos like this, make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week. Happy teaching! I never thought I'd see the day where there's over 28 opportunities, and I'm sure there's just gonna be more as time goes on.